day. Yeah. Yeah, why not? It's a new day full of sound and beautiful autumn light and expectation. This day has been waiting for you. It's been waiting especially for you. So have these flowers. This is the day we have been given. Let's not waste it. Come now and let us worship together. Please rise in body or spirit. Our first hymn is in the gray hymnal. It's 328. 328, I sought the wood in summer. I sought the wood in summer. 328.
I saw the wood in summer when every twig was green. The rudest boughs were tender and buds were pink between. Light-fingered aspens trembled in fitful sun and shade, and daffodils were golden in every starry glade. How frail a thing is beauty, I said, when every breath she gives the vagrant summer, but swifter woos her death. For this the stardust troubles, for this have ages rolled, to deck the wood for bridal and slay her with the cold. I sought the wood in winter when every leaf was dead. Behind the wind-whipped branches the winter sun was red. The birches white and slender in breathless marble stood. The brook, a white immortal, slept silent in the wood. How sure a thing is beauty, I cried, no belt can slay, nor wave nor shock despoil her, nor ravishes dismay. The granite hills are slighter, the sea more like to fail. Behind the rose, the planet, the law behind the veil.
Well, welcome everyone. How are you doing? Good. I see people dressed for all different kinds of weather in this room. So, good. Welcome, everyone. Let's see. We have a number of announcements. Many of them are in the back of your order of service. I just want to highlight a couple of them. We're going to be offering meditation, loving kindness meditation, tomorrow evening. Aaron McDevitt and Ash Kohler are offering that. And I also want to bring attention that we are going to have an after-election gathering on Wednesday night. So that's going to be 7 p.m. Regardless of the results and uncertainty about those results, we're going to be here Wednesday, 7 p.m. We'll probably be down in Channing Hall, in our social hall. So I'll be there. We have a number of our care team members who will be there. You can join us for that. And in between, if you need anything, please let me know as well. I know it can be a very stressful time. So please feel free to reach out. Let's see. This coming Saturday is a work party. So there are three things I think of for this work party? Mulch, coffee, and donuts. If you like one of those three, come. So this coming Saturday, it's very hands-on. We have a lot of stuff to do. It's going to be this Saturday, November 9th at 10 a.m. is when that starts. And Tim Meriden has been on the ball with Christmas Eve. So he's been the one kind of kicking me into gear. So we have a Christmas Eve choir sign-up downstairs on the table. We already have 2 or 3 people who said, yes, I want to be part of a choir for Christmas Eve. If you want to join, please, there's going to be a paper with a sign-up sheet. You can put your name down for Christmas Eve sign-up. And now, can we get a bit of a drum roll going? All right, let's see where we're at in our pledge drive. Let's see the yellow brick road, Brian, where we are. So we are actually at 53% of our goal with 4 weeks left of our pledge drive. So give yourself a hand for that. Yeah, I feel very confident about this year. I mean, this is probably the best we've ever done. So if you haven't turned in your pledge card already, or if you need a pledge card, or you're like, what the heck is a pledge card? Please talk with me, talk with a number of folks. Our pledge drive ends the last Sunday in November, where we're going to have a big celebration. So please keep that in mind, and thanks again. I'd love to now invite Ash Kohler for our chalice lighting.
Wow, good morning. It's really a pleasure to be able to share my thoughts and inner being with all of you lovely people who I really care about and adore. So when I sat down to write this, I asked what everyone needed the most, because that's really important to me as a person, to consider what would serve the greater good. So I reflected and I decided to talk about a journey of my own brokenness and my own broken heart. I came to a place in life where I felt every wound in my being. And living that way, my best and most tender parts were seeping through those cracks. And that leads to a lot of stolen joy and unhappiness. I began this healing journey when I was 19, and pretty aimlessly, I must admit. But I would stumble onto treasure. I was educated in the Japanese tradition of kintsugi, which is a tradition of mending broken ceramics. I love this tradition because they mend these cracks with gold. And now what was once broken is valuable beyond itself, timeless and unique, and done with tender hands and care. So I adopted this tradition in my life, and I share it now as a value of becoming and being in community. Gold is rare, it's dense and heavy and forged by supernovas. And I recall my youthful inclination to alchemy and turning dense lead, heavy, and remorse into gold. So I cultivated this tradition of seeing gold in everything and in everyone, to allow the brokenness of heartache shared across diverse groups of people to teach me, and to be mindful in my own sharp edges, still mending and learning how to be malleable and soft, like gold. A skill I am hopeful I am beginning to comprehend. The day that I was asked to do the chalice lighting, I sat in the back of the church, actually, crying for most of the message. And it was a really warm day, and the sun was beaming in, and I felt that gold and the strength of that gold that illuminates so much of what we see and what we don't. And I had a notepad with me that day, and I wrote down this little note. So, guidance has its way of deliberately touching the weak and soft, broken spots, and then the alchemy of the soul with their guidance mends those spots with the strength of gold. And in doing so, we become rich, ripe, abundant. We are all vessels for spirit, or at least that's what I believe. Some of us have been mishandled, hurt, fumbled, and more enduringly, completely violated in our hearts, or we see that happening to others. And for that, I hold space for all of you. So I want to share how I practice this heart kintsugi. So if you want to come together for a little brief visualization by closing your eyes gently and softly, coming into awareness of your breath, and inviting in soft gold light into this space we share. And settling into the body, maybe noticing where there's tense, stuck energy. Feeling the breath and inviting that gold-rich energy into the body, into the heart. And allowing that gold light to mend any feeling of hurt. And breathing out anything that you're willing to release. Allowing yourself to come back to this moment. And when you're ready, opening your eyes. So when we invite in the gold to heal and repair, restore and realign to our true nature, which is beautiful, abundant, rich with spirit, allow the breath to open those tense spaces in your life. Allow your exhale to release anything holding you back. Thank you for sharing this journey with me. May you be whole. May you feel loved. May you be well. May you be liberated. May you be happy. Thank you. Might need help. There we go. All right.
Let's now just greet each other, say hello, especially with someone new. Don't be too intimidated. Just say hi. How are you? What's up?
Good morning. So I'm here to tell the story of the Wizard of Oz in just 5 minutes or less. But I might need your help because I'm very forgetful. So please chime in if there's like some word I forgot, because that's just how I am. So in the movie, because I never read the book, we meet a young girl named Dorothy, and she lives with her aunt and uncle. Her aunt is M. She calls her Auntie M, and her uncle Henry. And so they live on a farm in Kansas. Okay. They have a mean neighbor named Mrs. Gulch, and Mrs. Gulch does not like Dorothy's dog, Toto. So Dorothy is running home with her little dog, Toto. Okay. And she's like, Auntie M, that mean old Mrs. Gulch is trying to hurt Toto. Don't bother us now, Dorothy. We're trying to get these chickens inside before it starts storming. But Auntie M. Then Dorothy sings, somewhere over the rainbow. The end. Dorothy and Toto run away, but along comes a big tornado. And Dorothy and Toto run back into the house. Ooh. But the tornado picks up Dorothy's house, and then it lands right on a wicked witch. Toto, I don't think we're in Kansas anymore. They're in a place called Oz, where the wicked witch dies, and somehow her slippers are transformed onto Dorothy's feet. So, next, we see a good witch. Now, the good witch and the bad witch look very different from each other. This is Glenda, the good witch. She appears and she says to Dorothy, the only way for you to get back home is to follow the yellow brick road to the Emerald City. So that's what Dorothy does. So she starts on her journey. And then the next thing that she does is she meets up with a scarecrow. And she asks the scarecrow, what are you doing just standing there? He goes, I'm not standing here, I'm stuck. And she goes, well, why don't you get unstuck? And he says, I would, but I haven't any brain. So Dorothy helps him get unstuck, and then he helps her along the journey. And then the next thing that they do is they meet a Tin Man. That's all right. I got it. And then the Tin Man says, I wish I had a heart. And then Dorothy says, well, you should come with us because we're going to go to the Emerald City and we're going to ask the wizard to help us. So he went along with them. And then the next thing that happened in the movie was they're walking through the woods, and the woods are dark and scary. And then all of a sudden, out jumps a lion. Jimmy, can you bring me the lion? Shh, don't tell her she's not a lion. She's in character. Okay. And the lion went, roar. The lion had no courage. And the lion told Dorothy and the Tin Man and the Scarecrow, I wish I had some courage. So, she was a little off cue, but that's okay. That's okay. So, you can take the baby back. You might be able to see her later if you'd like. The Wicked Witch of the West vowed to get revenge for her sister's death, and she wants those ruby slippers for herself. So, the wizard said, when they got to the wizard, he said, bring me the broomstick of the Wicked Witch of the West, and I will help you all. So the group travels to the witch's castle. The witch sets the Scarecrow on fire. And then, unfortunately, the fire gets put out by a bucket of water that lands on the witch. And the witch is like, I'm melting. And she left her broomstick. So now that they had the broomstick, they went back to the wizard. So they're all going back to the wizard. And the Scarecrow in the Tin Man, the Scarecrow got what did he get? Yes, that's right. He got a diploma. Okay, good one. And so what did the Tin Man get? A heart? Wow, I think he got a heart watch, right? Right, okay. See, I'm remembering now. But before Dorothy could get her wish, the wizard flew off in a balloon. So Dorothy didn't get her wish. But Glinda, the good witch, she came back. Where did Toto go? Hold on. And she said, you have had the secret to getting home all along. All you have to do is click together your ruby slippers and say, there's no place like home. Well, okay, but I'm gonna miss my friends. I am so glad I had my friends on the journey with me. I couldn't have done it alone. Thank you, friends. I'm gonna miss you. And then Dorothy and Toto, in her pocket, said, there's no place like home. Click, click. There's no place like home. Click, click. There's no place like home. And then she woke up. Auntie M! Auntie M! I have to tell you what happened. But Auntie M was just so happy that Dorothy was home. And Dorothy said, Auntie M, Uncle Henry, I'm so happy to be home again. I'm not going to leave here ever again because I love you all. And there's no place like home. The end. I forgot to show you the Wizard of Oz thing. The end. So if all the kids could join me at the door, up here first so we can do the covenant. All the kids. Just you, huh? Dang, how are we going to play bingo? We might play with the kitten. Okay, so if you'll join us in our covenant, it is in your order of service. Love is the spirit of this church, and service its law. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another. And now we're going to sing the song that's also in your order of service. Ready?
Go now in peace. May the spirit of love surround you everywhere, everywhere you may go. Go now in peace, go now in peace. May the spirit of love surround you everywhere, everywhere you may go.
Morning. It's good to remind ourselves from time to time that the offering is symbolic as well as practical. We pass the plate during our worship service to make a community expression of thanks for the blessing of abundance and to support our community in a tangible way. This month is our pledge drive, a time when all are invited to make a pledge to support the life of this church and our mission in this community. A pledge is an amount that you promise to give to support the church. It can be paid up front or taken out of your bank account on a monthly basis. The work of this church is solely supported by all of your pledges, and you can ask a greeter if you need a pledge card. We also accept cash, silver, gold, or gifts of great monetary value. We will now receive the offering that supports the life of our church, the Mahoning Valley, and our wider world.
We'll now just sit in silence for maybe 30 seconds to a minute. Get comfortable. I had someone remark, "You have cushions in your pews." Ah, so nice.
Hi, my name is Dorothy, and this is Toto. I've been looking for a place like home for a long time. I got these really cute red slippers at Rack's Consignment on Belmont Avenue. And when I clicked my heels 3 times, it took me here. Oh my, is that a scarecrow I see?
Hi, folks. I am indeed a scarecrow, and I've been looking for a place to grow a mind. I was given a brain, and I even know the Pythagorean theorem. And it says, in any right triangle, the sum of the squares of the legs is equal to the hypotenuse squared. But I'm looking for even more. I'm looking for a place where ideas are welcome, where discussion is invited, and my mind can be used to help live my life and grow new ideas for our community. How about you, Tin Man?
Speaking of serving our community, I want to find ways to do that by connecting from the heart. I really care about my family, my friends, my church, my neighborhood, my whole world. I really hope I can find a place where compassion is at the heart of everything we do. And I want to love all the beings of this world, all of you, and dogs and cats and birds and grasshoppers and whales and lions.
Roar! I'm glad you want to help me. I have this newfound courage, but I'm not sure how to best apply it. I want to find a place where even feeling uncertain and having doubts is part of being brave.
Welcome, friends. I'm Glinda the Good Witch, and I'm so glad your paths have led you here. This is a special place, but don't take my word for it. Let's ask the man behind the curtain.
Yes. This is a special place. It's a place to grow your mind, to open your heart, to practice courage, and to find a home. Everything you are looking for can be found here because you're here. If you click your heels 3 times right now, you will find your ticket to all of this and more. Now look at your ticket.
I think it's a pledge card.
It may take some courage to fill this out.
I feel it's the right thing to do.
Well, this place certainly is special. I want to support it for other folks who find their way here. I have to say, don't you all agree that it is indeed a special and wonderful place?
It might be bold to say it. There's no place like it.
This should be made available to everyone. All of you in this wonderful place should have the same pledge card. If you need one, please talk to a greeter or to one of us.
You all make up this special place. This place is UUYO, and there's no place like it.
Can't turn. Drink water.
do come true. Someday I'll wish upon a star and wake up where the clouds are behind me, where troubles melt like lemon drops above the chimney, the tops. That's where you'll find me, somewhere over the rainbow. Bluebirds fly, birds fly over the rainbow. Why then, oh why can't I? If happy little bluebirds fly beyond the rainbow, why, oh why can't I?
I went to bed and was caught up in a flurry of fearful thoughts about what kind of life was in store for me. A gale. Did you know her name was Dorothy Gale? A gale, a wind, a destiny perhaps that sometimes felt like it had the power of a tornado, seized my whole body and transported me to other lands. I went from the land of deciduous trees wider than 3 people outstretched, arm to arm, could hold. I was transported to a land where the large trees were traded in for large skyscrapers. And everywhere I walked, I could sense the people at the top floors looking down on me. I would walk and travel, sometimes arm in arm, body to body, armpit in my face on the subway, with all those people who had caught a similar wind. And there was always in the background both the palpable sense of missing something and the sense that what we most wanted in the whole world was just around the corner. After a while, another wind blew through and took me into another dream, a place I had never been before. In this place, there were tornadoes, actual tornadoes, and wild bison, and people who had lived on the land for generations. Some of them remember their ancestors with dust in their mouths, looking for some kind of growth to sprout from the earth, waiting and waiting and waiting. All the while valiantly as if nothing was missing, even though in their gut the yearning persisted. The place was a green valley surrounded by dry land, and you could feel the humid heat creeping in on the outskirts of your body. A clap of thunder would unsettle any kind of wondering about the future. One time I drove by car in a hailstorm to get a pint of ice cream, with the thunder always at my back and getting closer. It was a place that led you to do silly things, much like that. From there, can everyone go another gale, another wind came through that took me to a place I'd never seen before. It was like home, but different. It was gray. It had fresh air. But here, some people were upset about fresh air. In this place, people missed the soot, the ash that would coat their clothes, their hair, their windows. The smell of money, they told me. But honestly, I preferred fresh air. They kept telling me how gray it was. But everywhere I looked in this valley, I saw green. And in the fall, colors of orange. You see them? Yellow. Red. I saw more water than any one community could use in a lifetime. I went to a church where every person I met was a character. Completely themselves, and at the same time completely unaware of this. It was refreshing. I would meet people and they would ask me where I went to high school. And I would tell them. And they would look at me confused, saying they had never heard of it. There was something different about this place. Or there was something different about myself in this place. I couldn't tell which it was. I thought I discovered the greatest city in the world. Yet most people did not believe me. And that was okay too. I came to feel that what I had been missing was never truly lost, though I couldn't tell you how I found it. It had something to do with this place, or maybe just how I was in this place. I couldn't be sure which. That's part of my journey into Oz via Youngstown. I don't know if any of it resonated with you. I've lived in a few different places, but I can say with authority, after some years of being here, there is truly no place like this. Truly. The comparisons break down quickly. This is truly an incomparable place. When I first came to this place, I was immediately taken by it. And I remember one Sunday expressing my uncultivated opinion that Youngstown is one of the greatest cities in the entire world. And each time, someone would gasp. And given that I have a very strange personality, that was all the encouragement I needed. How could this be one of the best places in the world? Gasp. And naturally, how could my life be one of the greatest lives ever lived? Gasp. That has opened a doorway for me that I didn't know existed before. A doorway I've joyfully kept traveling through over these years and sharing it with you without any expectation whatsoever that you will believe it. I think we have the perfect setup here to enter Oz. Are you with me? We have the perfect setup here to enter a dream. That is also at times a nightmare. Okay? A nightmare that at the same time is the source of our greatest hope, our greatest source of meaning, It's the perfect setup. It's perfect because you don't need to go too far to commiserate with the very real sense that something is missing. We know the feeling that something is missing. Even if we're perfectly satisfied, in a sense, that's a kind of missing. Because then we're not like most people, right? The sense of something missing is a good doorway. And it might lead us into meeting an interesting cast of characters who we see have everything they need. Everyone, of course, except us. It's the perfect story to enter. And no one ever told me this, but it's been wonderful to discover that in this place of missing, there's laughter and friendship, kindness, and lots of food, actually. But it's also simply a place for the human spirit. And the human spirit is wilder and more wise than I could ever imagine. It doesn't follow neat and tidy rules. It doesn't follow party lines. It doesn't always make sense. I'm learning to trust that the human spirit can meet almost any situation, especially when we do it together. And there's always room for greater imagination, greater love, and greater aliveness. To remain alive, vital, and awake when we are convinced that we are otherwise, that is the mission of this church. Some of the things I thought I was missing, I'm learning now are innate. A mind, a heart, courage, a home. I didn't need to go off to any special place to find these things. But, I've found them here. And I think that's because I'm here and you're here. And on some level, we believe in each other. We believe there is a lot that is possible for each of us. That has changed for me over the years of being here. That sense of possibility is not that we become someone else, and all our sense of missing something goes away. No, it's the opposite. You know, we go into the missing, and from there discover a new possibility, a new world, a community of people who feel they are missing and yet have everything. It's a poignant journey where even the sense of scarcity becomes our gold. Strange, right? That sense of missing something becomes our greatest treasure, our greatest lifeline into the world. And I think that can sneak up on us hanging around a place like this. I had this memory I had forgotten about until last week when I was thinking of this service. I was moving into my first apartment, and I saw a for rent sign outside a building in downtown Portland, Oregon. This shouldn't have happened, but it did. I went into the building, and I met a vital woman in her 80s named Caroline, who had the slightest hint of an Irish accent. I told her I was looking for an apartment, and she gave me the application, which I filled out, and then, right away, she gave me the keys. And she said I could move in while they took time to process the paperwork. I didn't know any better, so I thought that's how you rent an apartment. Wow, that was really easy. I had no credit, no rental history, no cosigner, and Caroline, who was kind of an angel for me, literally opened the door and made a life possible. I had this great view of a couple downtown streets from an apartment window. And I just remembered this recently. This is the memory. I would stand and look out the window at the cars going by, people walking, people catching a bus, and having the very real, distinct, lonely feeling that I was here and the rest of the world was out there. I was watching the world, but I wasn't in it. I couldn't articulate it then, but that was the feeling. It became a sort of habit for me, actually, kind of strange but true. I would look out the window like this, and I would feel myself watching the world. And I didn't even know this then, but I felt a yearning to somehow participate in it in a way that at the time felt completely inaccessible. And do you know what triggered that memory? I realize now, remembering that I don't have that feeling anymore. I just don't. I feel myself more in the world. And the world is alive in me. I didn't work for that. It just happened. It was always there, I think, but I didn't know it. For me, this is the greatest life I could live. It's the greatest. And not because I'm great or special. It's because I finally belong. I belong to the world. And in a sense, the world belongs in me. And we can play now. That was always the case, I think. I never was missing that. But at times it sure felt like it. And you know what? Even if that feeling comes back, that feeling of missing something, I'm not scared of it. And you know why? Because I know that feeling is also part of the world. What is more universal than loneliness? It seems to me something so poignant and so beautiful. Who else but a smart person wishes they had a mind? Right? Who else but a bold person wishes they had more courage? You following me on this line? Yeah. Who else but a compassionate person wishes they actually had a heart? Who else but a person at home in their life wishes they had a place to call home? It's strange, isn't it? And it's beautiful. I think we just hold and encourage each other in whatever part of the story we think we're in. And there's no wrong part of the story. That's what I learned from rewatching The Wizard of Oz. You know my favorite parts of the movie? They're the middle. When the friendship is blossoming, when no one knows who they are or where they are, and they are convinced they have some place to get to, that's my favorite part. The middle. It's when the yearning is the greatest. It's the best part. That's the most alive for me. And there's the greatest possibility for connection right there, when we don't have our stuff figured out yet. Then life can actually get in and work wonders. I'm really proud of our pledge team this year. I am. Our cast of The Wizard of Oz, right? We were bouncing around ideas about what the theme should be this year, and someone said, well, I keep hearing from people in coffee hour, they say something like, there's no place like it. There's no place like it. And I really felt that in my heart. And you know what automatically came up for me, actually? I want every person, every single person, to have the opportunity, to have the experience in their own life, to say, oh, there's no place like it. And the subtext, this is a good life. Even when it's a hard life, it's a good life. Then I had the thought, this is through email, there's no place like home. And Jack Allman said, I had the same thought. So here we are, a journey to Oz via Youngstown. And in the middle of that, an oasis for the mind, for the heart, a place to learn true courage, a place to call home. What more could we ask for? I was thinking this just a couple days ago. It's kind of strange and wonderful that a place like this still exists. A church, actually. And I think one of the wonders of this place is we get to learn how to value ourselves. I don't know where else to do that, honestly, as a community. We get to value our own life. And we get to practice valuing the life of our neighbor. And thus, we get to practice learning to value our whole community. Someone came a few Sundays ago who grew up in this church as a boy, and he sat in the back pew, and he's since moved out of the area. And he said to me, everything I love about this city has gone, except for this place. He said, I'm so glad you have kept this place going. And what is it we're keeping going? Have you asked yourself that? What is it that we're keeping going? Is it a beautiful building? Is it a minister? Is it staff and office supplies? Think about it. Yes, and much more. It's an investment in ongoing transformation. To learn how to use our mind for benevolence. To open the heart to more aliveness. To find courage that allows us to be more fully human together. To be the host, so others like ourselves who wander here can feel at home for a while. It's a place where we can learn to value ourselves, not based solely on what we do, but who we are. Are you with me on that? Good. Good. See, it's happening even then. We get to discover that value for ourselves. As a baby, that's what I want. A value that is present in all circumstances, no matter what. How might we live if we discovered that? What choices would we be free to make or not make if we actually discovered that? That is the most exciting part for me. It's a place to discover freedom that we always possessed, but didn't know it. And you know, all we do here week after week is we point to it. Week after week after week after week after week after week until we point it at ourselves. And we say, oh, right, I'm home. All right, I have a mind. Yeah, oh, right, I do have a heart. Oh, right, being frightened is proof of my courage. Yes, yes, oh, right. Giving generously to this possibility might be the greatest thing we can ever do in our entire life. But I'm biased. I think what we're doing here is one of the greatest things imaginable. You have shown me Youngstown is one of the greatest cities in the world. There's no place like this. There's no place like this church. Please pray with me. Oh, Spirit of autumn light and love and music and theater, this has been a wonderful Sunday. Thank you for everyone who made this possible. Thank you to Dorothy Gale, who flew on the tail of a tornado into this beautiful sanctuary. Thank you for all the light and love that is in this place, and may we share it with all the world. All this we pray. Amen. Please rise in body or spirit for our closing hymn. I thought this would be fitting. Life is the greatest gift of all. It's in the great hymnal. It's 331. 331 in the great.
Life is the greatest gift of all the riches on this earth. Life and its creatures, great and small, of high and lowly birth. So treasure it and measure it with deeds of shining worth. Mind is the brightest gift of all, its thought no barrier mars. It seeks creation's hidden path, its quest surmounts all bars. It rains the wind, it chains the storm, it weighs the outmost stars. We are of life, its shining gift, the measure of all things. Up from the dust our temples lift, our vision soars on wings. For seed and root, for flower and fruit, our grateful spirit sings.
We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we keep in our hearts until we meet again.
For those who are new, this is not a cult-like thing. You don't have to do this, but you're welcome. As you depart, please remember the one great fact. You are loved and never truly alone.
Home for the holidays. I believe I've missed each and every face. Come on and play one easy. Let's turn on every love light in the place. It's time I found myself totally surrounded in your circles. Oh, my friends, please celebrate me home. Give me a number, please celebrate me home. Play me one more song that I'll always remember, that I can recall whenever I find myself too all alone. I can sing me home. Uneasy highway, traveling where the westerly winds can fly. Somebody tried to tell me, but the man forgot to tell me why. Gotta count on being gone. Come on, mama, come on, daddy, and please, what do you want from me? I'll be strong, I'll be weak. Please celebrate me home. Give me a number, please celebrate me home. Play me one more song that I'll always remember, that I can recall whenever I find myself too all alone. I can make believe I've never gone. Let me know where I belong. Sing me home, celebrate me home. Give me a number, please celebrate me home. Play me one more song. Now you're gonna sing. Ready? You can do it better. Celebrate, celebrate, celebrate me home. Just keep going now. Celebrate, celebrate, celebrate me home. Now I'm gonna go.